Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm talking to the author of What Happened, now out in paperback, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, Secretary Clinton, you got some fans, as I said. Let's talk about the Kavanaugh for a moment right now. The hearings are going on. We don't know whether Dr. Ford is going to testify next week, or under what conditions she will testify, what they will give her, whether they'll give her an FBI investigation before she testifies. But do you think the nomination process in general is irreparably damaged following the Republicans not allowing Merrick Garland to be heard?
Right.
Is it just recriminations from here on out, one side hitting against the other?
Well, it's one of the reasons why I think a lot of Americans are just fed up with the whole political process, because in a democracy, you have to have at least enough trust to be able to work with each other and try to, solve difficult problems. And when the Republicans refuse to give a distinguished judge appointed by President Obama even the courtesy of meetings, let alone a hearing, that sent such a terrible message. Now, what they've done in this case is to hold back information. They have not provided all the information which was always made available for other nominees, and they're trying to rush this through to the detriment of the American public, who deserves to have answers to whatever charges might be presented. So I'm hoping that at some point there will be an agreement to have an investigation. It would be very easy for the FBI to go back and finish the background investigation, to investigate these charges. And, maybe find out there's nothing to them, maybe find out there is something to them, but at least have that investigation completed. And I think that's what is a fair request for due process to be asked for.
Can you sympathize at all with the Republicans? What some of the Republicans are saying is that any call for an investigation is just another attempt to create a political football. You and your husband were both subjects of investigations while your husband was in office. Do you think that it's possible to have an investigation that takes place in a public forum like the Senate that doesn't become a political football? So do you have any sympathy for their argument that this is just going to turn into another political fight as opposed to a search for the truth?
No, I have no sympathy. And the reason, I know that, in a fast-moving world, we have so much information coming at us, and we have to keep moving. But the Merrick Garland precedent was the crassest, most cynical kinds of politics that could be even imagined. Okay, so you move on, a new nominee, and the Republicans won't even give up a significant percentage of the information that should be made available to the Senate to do their job. They basically have stonewalled, and they want to push this through, and then along comes another potential charge that has to be investigated, and they've done everything they can to try to ignore it, to undermine it, as opposed to saying, okay, we are the stewards of the public trust. We're looking at giving somebody a lifetime job on the most important court in the land. So, yeah, we owe it to our constituents, we owe it to our Constitution, our process, to do the job right. And they're the ones who've turned it into a political football, and I don't have any idea what they're going to decide to do, but I know what I wish. Have an investigation. It won't take that long. Let the investigation go forward, present it, and then go from there.
Okay, so we're coming up on the midterms.
Yes.
Now, you compare Russian interference in the 2016 election to Pearl Harbor on page 470, in case you want to be fact-checked on that one. Pearl Harbor was an act of war.
Right.
Was this an act of war by the Russians against the United States?
It was an act of cyber war. Obviously I say nobody was killed, there aren't tanks in the street, but when you have an adversary who attacks one of your most important institutions, our electoral system, that is an act of war. And imagine if after Pearl Harbor, or after 9/11 even, if President Roosevelt or President Bush had said, we don't want to go into that. We don't want to understand what happened.
Could have been a lot of people.
Could have been a lot of people.
Could have been the Chinese. Could have been a 400-pound guy in New Jersey.
100%.
We don't know.
That's right. We don't know, and we don't want to find out.
Right.
So
Yeah, let's move forward.
Let's just move forward. Right. Well, it's absurd when you present it like that, and unfortunately, that's what's happening. And so I think it's imperative that, again, regardless of party or no party, people who are worried about the lack of accountability, trying to exercise checks and balances with this president, have got to turn out and vote. It is our only recourse. That is what we have to do.
Well, we got to take another break. We'll be right back with more Hillary Clinton, everybody. Stick around.